All right, everyone. Well, welcome to Auburn's 58th Annual Veterans Parade and Observance. We are thrilled to be celebrating this today. We do wish our active military the best, and we salute our veterans today as well. I'm Lee Stoll with Como 4, and Theron Zahn is next to me here. We both have been up since 3 o'clock this morning. We did the news this morning as well. We're going to serve as your parade MCs today. We think this is our 8th year doing this together.
8th year. Standing in this spot every year.
Absolutely. So we are very grateful to be here today, and we're in for a real treat this morning.
That's for sure. Fingers crossed the weather cooperates enough for us to get a good look at the 446 Airlift Wings C-17, followed shortly behind by the King County Sheriff's Department's Huey helicopter, which will roar low above the parade route. You won't be able to miss that. The City of Auburn has been honoring our veterans since 1965. This year, the 58th anniversary of this parade, and we're honored to celebrate all veterans of the armed forces. The City of Auburn is pleased to be a commemorative partner of the United States of America's Vietnam War Commemoration, and we're honored to also pay tribute to the service, valor, and sacrifice for those who served in the Vietnam War. Okay, here we go. I'd like to introduce Miss Auburn Natalie Myers to sing the national anthem. Please stand, and if you're able, remove your hats. And thank you, Natalie.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we'd watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Natalie, that was amazing. Beautiful job.
And can we time it absolutely perfectly? You can hear them overhead. Here they come. Proudly representing the 1,700 reserve citizen airmen of the 446th Airlift Wing out of Joint Base Lewis McChord is the aircrew. That was the C-17 Globemaster III. Piloting the team, McChord C-17 Globemaster III today is Aircraft Commander Lieutenant Colonel Emily Brand, and the pilots Lieutenant Colonel Joshua Piper and Ryan Evans. Your loadmasters are Tech Sergeant Chandler Smith and Connor Rao. The ground coordinator for the C-17 Globemaster III, Tech Sergeant Salman Semi.
And on behalf of Colonel Scott Myers, commander of the 446th Airlift Wing and the Air Force Reserve, thank you for letting us join your Auburn's 58th Annual Veterans Parade. I want to take a moment to introduce you to our parade judges, a group of volunteers from Easy Access. Judging today's parade are Yuma Clark of the United States Army service there, John Schendel of the Army National Guard, and Mandy Schendel, who was Miss Washington in 2012, and Ron Winter.
Easy Access provided the parade with numerous volunteers who contributed to today's event. We're very thankful for their support as well. The City of Auburn, pleased to be a commemorative partner of the United States of America Vietnam War Commemoration, honored to pay special tribute to the service, valor, and sacrifice of those who served in the Vietnam War.
I think I'm hearing something in the sky. A Huey is headed our direction. Who could that be? It's the King County Sheriff's Office proud to present their UH-1 Huey helicopter Guardian 2. Today it's flown by Army veteran Chief Pilot Deputy Keith Potter from Renton. His co-pilot today is Deputy Tony Mullinex, also an Army veteran. Love that sound. On behalf of the King County Sheriff's Office, we'd like to congratulate the City of Auburn for its 58th Veterans Parade and salute all the veterans past and present for their service. And thank you to the King County Sheriff's Office. That, again, was the UH-1 Huey helicopter. Quite a sight.
And a little bit of trivia for you. As we've been mentioning, it is the 58th annual parade this year here in Auburn. Over the years, Auburn's Veteran Parade has become the largest parade of its kind west of the Mississippi, quite possibly the largest in the U.S. Today's parade consists of over 160 entries, comprised of nearly 4,000 parade participants. So we're pleased to have everyone in attendance today. We're all in for a really, really great treat as it comes back here. Here's that UH-1.
One more pass.
And I see the flashing lights down the parade route. It is heading our way.
Kicking off Auburn's 58th Annual Veterans Parade are members of the Auburn Police Department's Traffic Division. These officers, two of which are veterans themselves, consider it an honor and privilege to lead the parade in recognition of the commitment and sacrifices made by our veterans.
All right, and the parade is officially now underway. Right behind the Auburn Police Traffic Unit, you have your Auburn Police Department Honor Guard. The Honor Guard is made up of several members of the Auburn Police Department, including active and retired service members. These officers really consider it a great honor to participate in the parade. Veterans, we thank you for your sacrifices and thank you for your service.
And let's say hello to the City of Auburn's Mayor, Nancy Backus. Mayor Backus was elected her first term to mayor in 2014 and is the first woman to ever hold the office in Auburn. Mayor Backus is accompanied by her daughter, Lucky, and they both like to thank all of you for coming to Auburn today to help us honor our veterans and celebrate the 58th anniversary of this great parade.
And you hear them coming. In front of you now is the first band of today, America's first corps band, representing the United States Army from Joint Base Lewis McChord. The first corps band is commanded by Chief Warrant Officer 3 Charles Doswell. Ladies and gentlemen, the America's first corps band.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing the United States Army and led by Colonel Louis Kangas, here comes the 41 soldiers representing the 189th Infantry Brigade, 1st Army Division West from Joint Base Lewis McChord. The 189th Infantry Brigade is a combined Army arms training brigade and is a vital asset of the United States Army. The 189th partners with active reserve and National Guard units across the United States to prepare them to deploy, fight, and win when our nation calls. This unit has been taking part in this parade for over a decade. And here comes Lieutenant Colonel Charisse Leo, the Chief of Staff for the United States Army Corps of Engineers, Seattle District. The dedicated military and civilian employees of the Seattle District are responsible for engineering solutions for our nation's toughest challenges. The Seattle District operates the Chittenden Locks and the award-winning Carl S. English Botanical Garden. And did you know that the Ballard Locks is one of the most visited recreation sites in Seattle? It's time to say hello to Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Zweller of the United States Marine Corps, Commanding Officer of the Combat Logistics Battalion 23 at JBLM. And thank you so much for being here.
And representing the United States Air Force 62nd Airlift Wing is the Deputy Commander Colonel David J. Morales. He assists the commander in ensuring the readiness of more than 2,400 active duty military and civilian personnel, along with 40 C-17 Globemaster III aircraft to support worldwide combat, humanitarian, and airdrop operations. He is also charged with overseeing the wing's programs on human resource management, environmental issues, installation security, and readiness.
And in this snazzy Mustang here is Colonel Scott A. Meyer, the commander of the 446th Airlift Wing at Joint Base Lewis McChord. Prior to this assignment, he was operations chief at the U.S. Central Command Deployment Distribution Operations Center in Kuwait. He has more than 5,200 flight hours, including more than 1,700 combat hours.
And you can't miss this next entry. Welcome 13th Coast Guard District. In front of you now is a 29-foot response boat, small, from Coast Guard Station Seattle. Aboard the boat is Rear Admiral Charles Fossey, the commander of the 13th Coast Guard District. He is joined by his wife, Mrs. Karen Fossey. Coast Guard Seattle Station is the largest Level 1 port, waterways, and coastal security boat station on the West Coast. They maintain a 24/7 readiness posture for maritime search and rescue, maritime law enforcement, and maritime environmental response. The unit is structured to have 41 active duty personnel and 37 reserve personnel, maintains 3 response boat smalls and 3 response boat mediums. Thank you to Station Seattle of the United States Coast Guard.
And representing the Washington National Guard is Major General Brett Doherty. I want to make sure I say it right, Doherty, the Adjunct General of the Washington Military Department and Commander of the Washington National Guard. The Washington Military Department's mission is to provide trained professionals and operational forces who are ready to defend our nation and state, respond to emergencies and disasters, and enhance resiliency in communities through structured alternative education opportunities for at-risk youth. And here comes the Trojan Parade Band, always proud to support our veterans. Let's take a listen. Very nice. After the parade, the Trojan Bands are hosting the largest marching band field show competition in the state at Auburn Memorial Stadium in honor of all the veterans. Tickets are still available at the gate.
And up next is Chantel Stovall, representing the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs Seattle Regional Office. She serves as the Assistant Director at the Seattle Regional Office, where she provides oversight for over 1,000 full-time employees who are charged with administering compensation and pension benefits for over 580,000 veterans and their dependents in Washington State.
And here are the fine folks representing the Tahoma National Cemetery, including their director, Tom Yokes. They're accompanied by members of the 17 Veteran Service Honor Guard teams. The Tahoma National Cemetery opened October 1st, 1997.
And coming up now, representing the Washington Department of Veterans Affairs, is the director, David Puente. David is joined today by his wife, Angie. The Washington Department of Veterans Affairs mission is to connect veterans and their families to the benefits and services they have earned through their military service. So we encourage you to check out the website to learn more about it at www.dva.wa.gov. Each year, the governor's Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee recognizes individuals who devote time and energy to improving the lives of Washington's veterans.
And let's welcome members of the Veterans Affairs Committee. The Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee is a 17-member committee representing federally recognized veteran service organizations that are appointed by the governor. The VAAC operates with the motto, No Veteran Forgotten, and serves in an advisory capacity to the governor and the director of the Washington Department of Veterans Affairs on matters pertaining to veterans and their families here in our state.
And also coming up next, please help me welcome the Women Veterans Advisory Committee, represented today by Shelley Willis and Lisa Narcisco. The mission of the Women's Veterans Advisory Committee is to advocate and assist Washington's women veterans to ensure they have equitable access to federal and state veteran services and benefits earned through their honorable service to our country.
And next up is Mr. Gary Lott, the 2023 Washington Department of Veterans Affairs Distinguished Service Award recipient. When it comes to promoting veterans organizations, programs, and services that support veterans and their families in Washington State, Gary Lott leads the way. He has worked with the veterans of the Washington National Guard, the Washington Department of Veterans Affairs, and SEAOX Task Force 12.
And you're also looking at Nine Line Veteran Services, the 2023 Washington Department of Veteran Affairs Team Award recipient. Team Nine Line continues to make great strides in military, veteran, and family support, guiding the way in targeted evidence-based programming to include employment, mental health, housing, case management, peer support, and coordinated partnerships spanning the state.
And let's welcome Governor John R. Rogers High School Army Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps from Puyallup.
And coming up behind them, you are seeing the Auburn Riverside High School Parade Band. So welcome Ravens to the parade. The band is directed by Megan Wagner. Student teacher Autumn Lyle. Drum majors are Katie Phyllis, Kyle Schlesser, and Haley Collins. Band president is Jenna Nutter. The Auburn Reserve High School Marching Band honored to participate today. There they go.
Time to say hello to Catherine Olson, American Legion Auxiliary Department President. She's a 68-year member and a retired U.S. Army veteran. The ALA mission is to care for our veterans, military members, and their families. The American Legion Auxiliary is partnering with agencies and entities to reduce and eliminate the rate of veteran suicide.
And please welcome the American Legion Department of Washington, District 11. The entry is led by District Commander Carol Stripling. District 11 represents 13 posts in King County outside of Seattle and Vashon Island.
And this one here is members from the American Legion Post 15 from Kent. Very nice this morning. One of the numerous posts that make up District 11. This group is made up of veterans who perform military honors at Tahoma National Cemetery.
And coming up now, the American Legion 11th District. Here comes the Service Girls American Legion Post 204. This post was chartered in 1946. The post welcomes female veterans from all branches of the armed forces.
It's time to say hello to Callie Mullins, the state commander of the Disabled American Veterans Department of Washington. Callie is a distinguished Navy veteran, fully disabled, and who has devoted her life to serving her country and fellow veterans. As the current department commander, she oversees an organization of more than 20,000 members. The national commander acknowledges her dedication and appointed Callie to the National Membership Committee. Well done.
And now we have some of the vans from the Disabled American Veterans of Washington Transportation Network. They provide needed transportation to and from VA health centers for veterans in need. Her volunteers spend thousands of hours helping our nation's veterans receive the care they need.
Something is cooking. Can you smell burgers?
dogs.
I think I smell burgers.
Hot dogs.
Yeah, something smells great. Thank you so much, DAV, for everything you do. You make people's lives so much easier to get where they need to go, those important appointments.
Okay, here comes Capelson.
I hear another marching band coming.
Should we introduce them before they come and blow us away?
They all blow us away.
do.
They're all amazing. And the kind of practice they put in. I want to thank all parents everywhere for putting up with that practice at home.
All right, before they get here, let me introduce them so you can really hear them as they come through. This is the Graham Capelson High School Army Junior ROTC Eagle Battalion. This is their 16th year participating in Auburn's Veterans Parade. You're looking at one of the largest Army JROTC units in Western Washington. Great job.
One of the great things about this parade, not only do we get to thank veterans who have served, but also future veterans. Oh, you can hear them come. Here comes the Auburn Mountain View High School Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Derek Pyle, located up on Lee Hill here in Auburn. This is their 17th year in a parade performance. Auburn Mountain View is proud to represent the city of Auburn in their 58th annual Veterans Parade.
Veterans of Foreign Wars Department of Washington. The Veterans of Foreign Wars is commonly known as the VFW. Commander Doherty joined the U.S. Army in September of 1972 and assumed training as a military policeman. He earned his VFW qualification serving a term in Korea. Craig retired from Boeing in 2019 and has been an active member of the VFW, holding numerous leadership positions.
Craig is joined by his wife, Christina, and State President Rose Green and State Adjunct Fred Green. And put your hands together for the Veterans of Foreign Wars Department of Washington. The VFW and its auxiliary work to support and provide veterans' rights and benefits, support and work with their local committees, and support local and statewide youth and education programs. The 25,000 members within the state of Washington are proud of their parent organization.
And let's welcome Auburn's White River Valley VFW Post 1741, one of the oldest veteran organizations in the city of Auburn. Post 1741 is made up of veterans from World War II all the way to Afghanistan and Iraq who served on foreign soil during an armed conflict. And for the 5th time since 2011, Post 1741 was selected for both All-American and All-State recognition.
Here comes VFW 969, Eric G. Sandstrom Post from Tacoma. Included within its entries are 2 vehicles. It's the Post Chaplain, Dolores Lopez, and District 3 Trustee and Treasurer Sue Hellman, Gold Star wife Gaylor Llewellyn, and Gold Star son and Post Commander Gary Nisker. We thank you for joining us today.
And up now is the Puyallup Valley VFW Post 2224 and their auxiliary. Post 2224 is an All-American post. Take a look at this.
That's impressive. And please welcome VFW from Sumner. Bonnie Lake Post 3070 has been active in serving veterans and general community affairs in the Sumner Bonnie Lake community since 1943. Our major event is the Memorial Day ceremony at the Sumner Cemetery, followed by the community lunch at the hall.
And you can also see Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 5052 from Maple Valley, representing the Maple Valley Ravensdale area. Riding along today is 99-year-old World War II veteran Richard Ludwig.
Time to say hello to Veterans of Foreign Wars Kent Meridian Post 6785. This post formed in 1978. Their commitment is to support veterans and their families whenever and wherever they are needed.
And here we go. This is Oak Harbor, Washington, the VFW Post 7392. Riders led by President Jerry Busey and Department Chair Dean McKinney. The VFW Riders' motto is to honor the dead by helping the living. These brothers and sisters of the Post and Auxiliary come together as one to help the veterans of Island County.
You're now looking at the Art Drexler VFW Post 9079 from Spanaway. They're joined by their auxiliary and Gold Star mothers. Up next is Eastside Catholic Crusaders Marching Band from Sammamish. The band would like to thank all veterans and active duty personnel for their service. And please welcome the Puget Sound Marines, the Marine Corps Leagues. All the great work they do for Toys for Tots. And thank you again for your service.
And representing the American Veterans, or AMVETS, is the Department Commander Danielle Wyatt. She works closely with the Ladies Auxiliary, the Sons of the AMVETS, and the AMVETS Riders. The AMVETS Department of Washington has over 3,200 members statewide. Membership open to anyone who honorably served or is currently serving in the U.S. Armed Forces, including the National Guard and the Reserves.
And let's say hello to AMVETS Post number 1. AMVETS Post 1 is the largest post in the state with over 1,600 members. Mission statement is to enhance and safeguard the entitlements of all American veterans who have served honorably to improve the quality of life for them, their family, and communities.
Here comes that rain again.
What rain? Did you say it's raining?
And our next entry is representing the American GI Forum, the only national congressional chartered Hispanic Veterans Service organization, honoring 64 Hispanic Medal of Honor recipients. General Richard Cavazos made military history in 1982 by being appointed the Army's first Hispanic 4-star general. He served at Fort Lewis as the commander of the 9th Infantry Division.
And it's time to say hello to Robert Olivares Jr., the National Senior Vice Commander of the Military Order of the Purple Heart. Robert served in the United States Marine Corps as a sergeant. The Military Order of the Purple Heart is a congressionally recognized veterans service organization for combat wounded veterans. Membership is comprised of military men and women who receive the Purple Heart Medal for wounds suffered in combat.
And up next is the Military Order of the Purple Heart, Department of Washington. The organization was formed in 1932 for the protection and mutual interest of all of those who have received the decoration of the Purple Heart. Chapters represented here today are Chapter 12, Seattle, and Chapter 407, American Lake. This is the only veteran service organization comprised strictly of combat veterans.
We are now looking at representatives from the American Lake Golf Course, which is owned by the VA and licensed to the Friends of the American Lake Golf Course to manage, operate, and maintain for explicit use by veterans and their families. This golf course runs with approximately 200 dedicated, hardworking volunteers, no paid employees. The volunteers perform all the duties required to operate the course, cutting grass, manicuring grounds at 5 a.m. in the morning. And thank you so much for being here. That's a lot of work.
And up next, representing the National Association for Black Veterans Incorporated, is the State Commander, Reverend Robert Watson. Junior Reverend Watson was in the United States Army for 21 years and retired with an honorable discharge in 2004. After retirement, he began his next call for his life serving the Lord. He is a lifetime member of the NAB Vets Incorporated. So thank you, Reverend Watson.
And up next,
I already did that one.
oh, we're waiting for, what is it? We're waiting for a high school band, aren't we? Oh, we are. It's hard to hide one of those. They're not going to sneak up on us. Oh, I see. A little bit of a gap. I've been watching from our vantage point across from where we are. There's a white, fluffy dog. And as the parade has gone on, this white, fluffy dog has been trying to get in their owner's seat over and over again. I think at first he was complacent, right on the ground, ready to watch everything, and now he wants to be in your lap.
We both talked about bringing our dogs. We didn't think they'd do well with the motorcycles coming through, so they're home, curled up.
But didn't you notice that the rain stopped?
For now. I'll give it to you for now.
Who knows? We might even squeeze out a sunbreak.
Or rainbow. Keep your eyes out.
That's
Right?
true.
And before they get here, let's introduce you to Auburn Mountain View High School's Army Junior ROTC unit. This highly motivated group of cadets is a combination of all Auburn high schools. And as Theron pointed out, this is a day to thank current veterans and future veterans.
The dog got the seat this time. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for being here today. And please welcome the Peninsula Seahawk Marching Band from Gig Harbor. The Seahawk Marching Band is under the direction of Megan Hilburn. Peninsula High School award-winning program centers around excellence and positivity in concert, jazz, and marching bands.
Please say hello to the Paralyzed Veterans of America, a congressionally chartered veterans service organization founded in 1946. These are veterans of the U.S. Armed Forces who have experienced spinal cord injuries, ALS, and MS. This organization has developed expertise on a wide variety of issues involving the special needs of their members. Great work.
And please welcome Scout Troop 401 of Auburn, one of the oldest troops in Washington State, who has provided a scouting program and has served Auburn since 1923. Auburn 401 cleans soldiers' graves and posts flags for the Memorial Day celebration, among other community contributions.
And coming up now, the Gold Star Wives of America, doing business as the Gold Star Spouses. Representing the organization is Beverly Buster, surviving spouse of Chief Petty Officer Albert Buster of the United States Navy. Beverly is the Vice President of the Northwest Region. Gold Star Spouses are advocates for benefits for surviving United States military spouses and children. The Gold Star Wives was first organized in 1943 and became a congressionally recognized veteran service organization in 1980. Thank you for all you do.
And here comes Jim DeMott, District Commander of the United States Submarine Veterans Incorporated. The purpose of the organization is to perpetuate the memory of their shipmates who gave their lives in the pursuit of their duties while serving their country. In the Pacific Northwest, there are over 650 men and women who are members of the Submarine Veterans Incorporated. The membership ranges between World War II veterans to active duty sailors with 6 bases or chapters in Washington and Oregon. They provide the way for all submariners to gather for the mutual benefit and enjoyment, and engage in various projects and deeds that bring about remembrance for those shipmates.
And up next is the United States Submarine Veterans Incorporated. They are a national veterans organization with 169 bases nationwide. You're looking at the Seattle base of the U.S. submarine veterans with their float that represents a modern atomic-powered fast attack submarine. This is a personal favorite. The base serves the east side of Puget Sound and honors all of those who have served aboard submarines and those who have perished protecting our country. Silent service. Membership is open to qualified men and women who have or are currently serving. As always, an outstanding display.
And here come members of the United States Submarine Veterans Incorporated Bremerton chapter. You're looking at a replica of the USS Bonefish. Here it comes. SS-223, this was a World War II Gatto-class submarine. She was commissioned on May 31st, 1943. Bonefish made 8 war patrols. She sank 31 enemy vessels for a total tonnage of 158,500.
You know, I gotta say it just once. Go Navy, beat Army!
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Love to see those dolphins. My dad always said, how fast can a submarine go? Fast enough. How deep can you go, Dad? Deep enough. That's all I got to know.
Top secret. And representing the Gold Star families of Washington is Pat Ford, the forever wife of Craig D. Ford, who was a Vietnam veteran. He served with the 173rd Airborne Brigade from 1964 to 1966. After completing jump school at Fort Benning, he was stationed in Okinawa, Japan. The 173rd Airborne Brigade was the first Army brigade to land in Vietnam on May 5th, 1965. He died on September 16th, 2018, from cancers caused by Agent Orange.
And if you can, please stand to honor our fallen. Carrying the Washington Fallen Hero banners are family and friends of our Washington Fallen Heroes. These banners represent a small portion of those who have lost their lives in war or on the battlefield at home. The Washington State Gold Star mothers are dressed in white to honor their loved ones. Thank you to our fallen heroes. And perfect timing, here is the sun.
And here come the Vietnam Veterans of America, Jim Hinn Memorial Chapter 102 out of Seattle. This group has participated in the parade for over 30 years. They are a congressionally recognized veteran service organization which helps veterans and their families with their claims from both visible and invisible disabilities obtained while in the military. This is some impressive equipment. That'll get your attention.
And here comes first-time parade participants, the Steilacoom High School Army Junior ROTC unit. They are a relatively new program and love parades and are very excited to participate today. And just behind them is the North Creek Marching Band from Bothell, Washington. The band is under the direction of Christine Sarita and led by drum majors Grace An and Ardish Prabhu. They would like to thank the band staff and all of their friends and family for their support.
And here comes Rex Fabian, the now Northwest Regional President of the Fleet Reserve Association. Rex retired from the United States Navy as a Senior Chief Cryptologic Technician. Much smarter than me. The Fleet Reserve Association is a congressionally recognized veteran service association serving the Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard.
And please welcome members of the Fleet Reserve Association. This is a congressionally recognized veteran service organization chartered, in 1924, comprised of members of the Sea Service, U.S. Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard.
And here are the men of the Combat Infantrymen's Association, led by Commander James Legendary. To earn the honor of wearing the Combat Infantryman's badge, a soldier must be military-trained infantryman by trade, plus he must have served as an infantryman in combat. Only the Medal of Honor may be worn above the Combat Infantry badge.
Thank you. And coming up now, always a fan favorite, help me welcome the Vietnam Helicopter Pilots Association. This group includes military pilots who flew combat missions in Vietnam between 1961 and 1975. And aboard the flatbed trailer is a UH-1H Huey helicopter fuselage owned by the Olympia Flight Museum. On loan for us to see it today. The UH-1 Huey was the icon for Americans in Vietnam and carried most U.S. ground troops in and out of combat. Wow.
And here come the U.S. Army Special Forces, also known as the Green Berets, or Quiet Professionals. The Special Forces Association, Chapter 16, is a fraternity of retired and active duty Green Berets. And it says right here...
Don't mess with these folks.
You don't want to mess with these folks.
Including my husband.
And please welcome the Washington State POW MIA Color Guard. They are joined today by a group of high school ROTC cadets. Veterans, thank you for your service and sacrifice.
And coming up now is the Women's Army Corps Chapter 63, the women's branch of the United States Army. It was created as an auxiliary unit. The Women's Army Auxiliary Corps on May 15th, 1942, and converted to an active duty status in the Army of the United States as the Women's Army Corps on July 1st of 1943. The Women's Army Corps was disbanded in 1978 and all units were integrated with male units.
And we have a first-time parade participant. Please welcome the Spanaway Lake High School Navy Junior ROTC Sentinel Company. The group is led by their color guard, commanded by Cadet Chief Petty Officer Isaac Young, their company Executive Officer Lieutenant Joseph Snyder. And welcome, first-timers.
And now in the best ride of the day so far, representing the Northwest chapter of the United States Army's Warrant Officers Association, is retired Chief Warrant Officer Stan Pauley. Stan is a combat veteran of Vietnam and Desert Storm. Warrant officers are highly specialized technical experts and single-track specialty officers who receive their authority from the Secretary of the Army upon their initial appointment.
And please welcome the Granite Falls High School's marching band. And if you know where Granite Falls is, that was quite a bus ride. This is their third year as a competitive marching band, and they are very excited to be here today. They're under the direction of Skylar Williams.
Bob has served the City of Auburn and its residents as a council member since January 1st of 2016. Bob also serves as a board member of the Auburn New Lions, who provide a great deal of support for this parade. He's accompanied by his wife, Patty.
And here comes Auburn City Council member Yolanda Trout-Manuel, who began her first term on the Auburn City Council in January of 2014. She is accompanied by two longtime friends. Driving the vehicle is Kumi Boots, and riding along is Debbie Cox. Thank you so much for being here today. And that's a pretty snazzy ride, by the way.
And remember, as we mentioned, a lot of people are driving the personal vehicles today for the dignitaries, too. So thank you so much for helping us. And please welcome Auburn City Council member Larry Brown, who began his first term on the Auburn City Council in January of 2018. Councilmember Brown served in the U.S. Navy from 1973 to 1977 and was honorably discharged as a machinist mate second class petty officer E5. He's joined today by his wife, Donna. Thank you so much for your service.
Coming up next is Auburn City Council member Kate Baldwin. Councilmember Baldwin is serving her first term, which started in January of 2022.
Yeah, thanks. Good job.
For now.
You nailed it.
Yeah, for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And time to say hello to Auburn City Council member Cheryl Rake. She has lived in Auburn since 1960, attended and graduated within the Auburn School District, and also attended classes at Green River College, and has been serving the Auburn community as an executive director of the Downtown Auburn Cooperative since 2019. She's accompanied by her husband, Sean.
And up next is Auburn's Junior Council. The Junior Council gives advice and ideas from a student's perspective on things like parks, recreation, entertainment, traffic, police, festivals, trails, environmental stewardship, and other social issues. Students will learn leadership skills, improve their chances for scholarships, and learn how city government operates.
And what a great sound, presenting the Scottish American Military Society, a congressionally chartered veteran service organization dedicated to the preservation of the contributions of the Scots to the American military and society.
And here comes Congresswoman Kim Schreier, proudly representing Washington's 8th Congressional District in Congress. She is working to ensure veterans receive the best service and care possible. Congresswoman Schreier is honored to be a commemorative partner for the United States Vietnam War Commemoration to recognize and thank Vietnam veterans.
And up next is Representative Eric Robertson. He is a retired state trooper, U.S. Marshal, and Valley Regional Fire Authority Administrator who is serving his 4th term in the House of Representatives. He represents Southeast King and Northeast Pierce counties, including Auburn and the Muckleshoot Nation.
Now that's how you arrive. How are you getting there? I'm taking a parade. It's time to say hello to Representative Chris Stearns, representing the 47th Legislative District. He's proud to be a former Auburn City Council member and was the first Native American elected to the council. Representative Stearns is a lawyer and has spent his career fighting for the legal rights of Native American tribes across the country.
And up now is Representative Christine Reeves of the 30th Legislative District. She is accompanied by her 10-year-old son, James, and her 8-year-old daughter, Gayla.
Our next entry is Dr. Susan Johnson, the president of the Green River College. She's been serving as president of Green River College since July of 2017. She is joined by Green River College's Board of Trustees Board Chair, Jennifer Ramirez Robson, who is a proud Air Force veteran. Green River College is committed to the success of their students, veterans, and families. Green River College strives to be the most veteran-supportive campus in the United States.
And time to welcome CEO of the Auburn Area Connect Chamber of Commerce, Casey Bray. She is a proud daughter and proud granddaughter of the United States Navy veterans. The Auburn Area Connect Chamber of Commerce serves the cities of Auburn, Algona, and Pacific.
Let's say hello to Leanne Greer, who represents the Auburn Noon Lions as this year's president. Leanne is also the mayor of our neighboring city of Pacific. The Auburn Noon Lions Club provides much support for this event and has so since the event's inception way back in 1965.
And next up is Miss Auburn 2023, Natalie Myers. The Miss Auburn and Miss Auburn's Teen Scholarship Program is a place where women and young girls can gain the chance to create change and earn scholarships. The program is proud to award over $30,000 annually. Candidates create change for themselves through mentorship programs, scholarship potential, and leadership skills.
And didn't she do a great job with the national anthem? Give her a hand.
Another hand. And here they come. Please welcome the United States Naval Sea Cadet Corps Hornet Division. The Hornet Division is the oldest and longest continuous operating unit in the Corps, chartered in 1958.
And you're about to hear from the Wenatchee High School Golden Apple Marching Band and Color Guard. These student leaders participate in parades, competitive field shows, and promote Panther Pride at sports and school events, and are happy to honor veterans today. Jim Kavich is the band director, assisted by Tim Zanol. Drum majors are Finley Otley and Sophie Manson.
And coming up now, presented by the Pacific Northwest Naval Air Museum in Oak Harbor, you're looking at a 21-foot replica of the USS Nimitz. The overall length of these carriers is almost 1,000 feet or 3 football fields. 10 Nimitz-class ships formed the backbone of the American carrier fleet through the late 20th and early 21st century. The Pacific Northwest Naval Air Museum is located in Oak Harbor, Washington, of course, on beautiful Whidbey Island. And aboard the carrier is Talk Radio's 570 KVI morning show host John Carlson, who can be heard on KVI every weekday morning from 5 to 9 a.m. Riding with him is Mike Seibert, executive producer of The Ari Hoffman Show, heard every weekday 3 to 6 p.m. on KVI.
Oh, and here comes the crew from Star 101.5, the station that plays your favorites from the 90s and now. And all my favorites are back in the 60s and 50s, I think. But anyway, they're here. They're joining us. And also the team from KNWN, Northwest News Radio, your information station, are aboard a festive float pulled by firefighter Pat and his helpers on his 99 Ford F-350. On the flatbed, meet Star 101.5's Jeff Connell, host of the Midday Show. It can be heard weekdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Julian on the radio, afternoon show host, weekdays 2 to 7.
And here comes the USO Northwest. The United Service Organization, or USO, was originally formed in 1941 at the beginning of World War II with the purpose of supporting America's military. With 3 centers in the Northwest region alone, the USO stands ready to help keep today's service members supported and connected to home.
And we are looking at first-time parade participants, Blue Star Mothers of America, a private nonprofit organization that provides support for mothers who have sons or daughters in active services in the U.S. Armed Forces or possess veteran status. South Sound WA8 is one of only 2 chapters in Washington State.
And here comes the Puget Sound Honor Flight. You know what this amazing organization does? We've done stories with them before. They take World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam War veterans on a trip to Washington, D.C., taking them to the memorials built in their honor. What a great organization. They're celebrating 10th anniversary this year. Veterans, if this is something that sounds interesting to you, encourage you to contact the Puget Sound Honor Flight for more details.
And here comes the American Red Cross, a nonprofit humanitarian organization that provides relief to those affected by disasters and helps people across the nation prevent, prepare, and respond to emergencies. Residents in Washington are supported by more than 3,000 volunteers who mobilize relief to families affected by disasters and provide training in life-saving first aid.
And here come the best hats of the parade. This is the North Mason High School Bulldog Marching Band and Color Guard. The band is under the direction of Mr. Chris Drury. Today, the band is led by drum majors Raymond Felton and Athena Batista. The band is comprised of students from Belfair and the surrounding communities. There, and you know who that is?
I told you all my favorites start way back in the 50s. And
Do you know who Lady Gaga is?
Yes, I've heard of her.
Good. We're gonna
She's
make it
within
your
the last
ringtone.
20 years. Here comes the Port of Seattle, represented by 15 of their 280 Guard, Reserve, and Veterans employees. The Port of Seattle's Employee Resource Group, military and veterans at the port, exists to provide community and network for employees and veterans. This initiative directly supports the port's diversity and development strategy.
And up next is the Veterans for Peace, including Chapter 92 of Seattle, Chapter 134 of Tacoma, Chapter 35 of Spokane, and Chapter 109 of Olympia. There are 140 chapters worldwide. Veterans for Peace works to educate the public on the cost of militarism and seeking justice for veterans and victims of all wars.
Yeah. And the Puyallup Tribal Veterans proudly march in honor of all veterans, especially those of the Puyallup Tribe. They have served in all the major wars, as well as conflicts and police actions. They attended powwows and present colors at various events. They also participate in other Native American veterans activities. Thank you, veterans.
And please welcome first-time parade participants, Snoqualmie Indian Tribe Veterans Program. Riding in the vehicle is the Snoqualmie Tribe Chairman, who is also an Army veteran. The Snoqualmie Tribe operates a veteran vehicle ride-share program. It's open to all veterans. The vehicle can be checked out for use at the Snoqualmie Casino by any veteran who needs it to get to medical appointments, other daily activities, or veteran community engagements at no cost.
And here come the heroes of the Heroes of the Water Northwest Chapter. This is a volunteer-based nonprofit that takes local veterans, first responders, and their families out kayak fishing. Everything from the kayaks and fishing gear to the fishing licenses and food are provided for free. Paddle, fish, heal is their motto. And they've got some great gear, by the way.
Woo. Well, we've got the water.
Something tells me any group with gear this awesome has seen whales up close. And here come the Bethel High School's Air Force Junior Reserve Officers Corps, a 130-member strong unit from Spanaway, Washington, with a mission to develop citizens of character. These cadets were their division champions in armed and unarmed drill as well as color guard over the past 2 years. This unit is recognized by the headquarters of U.S. Air Force Junior ROTC as a distinguished unit, as one of the top-tier units in the world.
And you can hear them coming, the Sumner High School Spartan Marching Band, once again proud to represent the cities of Sumner and Bonnie Lake in the 2023 Auburn Veterans Day Parade. This group of 150 students has performed this year at several events, including the Washington State Fair Rodeo Parade, the Seattle Seafair Torchlight Parade, and the Victoria, BC Victoria Day Parade.
So I have a question. So you're a band parent.
Yeah.
Which band parent has to be the most patient? A drum parent, cymbals
tuba
parent, or a
parent?
tuba parent? Always a fan favorite, the Puget Sound Military Vehicle Collectors Club, founded in 1973, is dedicated to the restoration, preservation, history, public education, and display of military vehicles, as you can see here. The vehicles are privately owned and maintained, and their members are proud to be honoring those who have served. You're looking at vintage military vehicles from World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, Desert Storm.
And you're looking now at the Washington High School Air Force Junior ROTC cadets of Squadron 83 from Tacoma.
Here comes the Kennedy Catholic High School Lancer Marching Band from Burien. For over 50 years, the award-winning Kennedy Catholic High School Lancer Band and Color Guard has been entertaining audiences throughout the Pacific Northwest region. The Color Guard is directed by Andrea Feller and Shauna Azores. The year's drum majors are Charlotte and Katie.
looking at Friends of Willie and Joe, an award-winning and well-known historical and educational living history group founded in 1994. The group is dedicated to preserving the memory of the male and female military personnel who served in World War II. Friends of Willie and Joe is a group of collectors and amateur historians who attend parades, air shows, and veteran events to educate the public about the uniforms, arms, equipment, and vehicles used in World War II.
And here come the Pacific Northwest Steel Soldiers as a living military history group dedicated to maintaining, preserving, and showing off historical military vehicles and stories of those that served in the armed forces to keep the veterans' memories alive for the next generations. Oh, to be a kid who gets to ride in that in a parade.
There we go. And closely behind them is the Federal Way High School Air Force Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps. This unit is in its 19th year and has proudly participated in this event since 2005. The unit was recognized in 2022 as a distinguished unit with merit by Headquarters Air Force JRPTC. Today, the 52nd Eagle Squadron is commanded by Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Thatch.
And coming up next, the Meridian Marching Trojans from Bellingham are led down the street by Drum Major Cash Latham and directed by Mr. Mitch DeGrace. The Meridian Color Guard is instructed by Miss Sandy Rogers and Miss Lisa Burgess. And the Drum Line is instructed by Mr. David Vaughns. Meridian is happy to be back again performing at the Auburn Veterans Parade and would like to give a shout out to and thanks to all our veterans. The students of Meridian are pleased to be performing September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. And here comes the Washington Civil War Association, a statewide group that brings Civil War history alive. The men, women, and children of the group are all living historians, and our club sponsors living history demonstrations, in-school educational presentations, and weekend battle reenactments all over our state.
And here comes the Redefining You Foundation, a veteran and woman-owned nonprofit established in 2016. Redefining You serves servicewomen, women veterans, and military spouses by taking them on a journey through professional and personal development training programs. These are programs they've created specifically for the women so they can transition seamlessly beyond the uniform and beyond the boots.
And up next is the Todd Beamer High School Air Force Junior ROTC 51st Titan Squadron, commanded by Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Danielle Dumlow. The squadron is one of the top units in the nation. Its awards include 13 Distinguished Unit Awards, 2 with Merit, and the Outstanding Organization Award. The unit is also a 2-time recipient of the Junior ROTC Silver Staff Community Service with Excellence Award.
And the American Vietnamese War Memorial Alliance built and maintains the Vietnam War Memorial in Auburn's Les Grove Park. The memorial honors American Republic of Vietnam and Allied veterans of the Vietnam War.
And up next is the Civil Air Patrol, congressionally chartered over 75 years ago. The all-volunteer Civil Air Patrol, auxiliary to the United States Air Force, operates a fleet of 550 aircraft and is credited with saving an average of 70 lives annually. CAP's 60,000 members also play a leading role in aerospace education and serve as mentors to more than 24,000 young people currently participating in the Civil Air Patrol Cadet Program. Up next, one of my all-time favorites. You know, every time we're out here at the parade. JBLM Military Jeepers is a chapter of the nationally recognized Military Jeepers for active and retired veterans of the armed forces. The club is comprised of veterans and active military servicemen and women. And thank you for the service, and we will just oogle at your Jeeps. As a Jeep guy myself, when I see Jeeps like this go by, like other Jeep guys, I'm cataloging all the aftermarket parts and what it takes to make that happen.
You know,
I'm very impressed.
Special. Is your Jeep this clean?
No. In fact, I don't think my Jeep has, it's only been cleaned when it was delivered. And that was it.
How many miles does your Jeep have on it?
My Jeep, I've had it a year and a half, and I've put 60,000 miles on it. It's seen, we were just joking the other day, it's been to 5 states.
In 1 year?
In about a year and a half, 2 years, with
Wow.
Montana, Idaho, Wyoming.
And how many times have I been invited to go with you?
Hey,
Yeah,
the sun
exactly.
came out. Did you notice the sun's out? That Jeep's called Froggy. My Jeep's just called Red. Somebody just named it Red.
This is more my speed and definitely an impressive sight. So I want to introduce you to them before they come up here. This is the Buffalo Soldiers of Seattle, a nonprofit outreach organization devoted to making a difference in the community. The Buffalo Soldiers of Seattle are dedicated to giving the community a chance to learn influential American history. They educate by hosting camps, bi-weekly educational forums, equine therapy, and making appearances at schools, museums, parades, and festivals all around the nation. So they have a website that you can learn more information. It's Buffalo Soldiers of Seattle. Beautiful. Look at them. Oh my gosh.
And you're looking at the Buffalo Soldiers Museum. The mission of the 9th and 10th Horse Cavalry Buffalo Soldiers Museum is to educate, preserve, and present the history and promote outstanding contributions of Americans from the Buffalo Soldiers from 1866 to 1944. I don't think there's anything more classic than a 1957 Chevy. It's the icon of icons of classic cars. In front of us now is the Pacific Northwest Great War. The group takes pride in remembering those who served in the war to end all wars by educating the public on the international experiences of the First World War, remembering their names, remembering their stories, for they're worth remembering. Well done.
And here comes Green River College. Veteran Services at Green River College serves as a resource for current and former service members and their family members by providing support and referrals throughout campus and our community. Our veteran military-connected students are an integral part of the Gator community. They're committed to helping them succeed and to achieve their academic and career goals.
Go Gators. And here comes the combined team consisting of Valley City's Veterans Teams and Cohen Veterans Network, who both provide a variety of services for local veterans. The Valley City's Veterans Team provides no-cost behavioral health services and can also assist with housing, DD 214s, accessing health care, upgrading discharges, and other needed resources.
And coming up now is the Spirit of 76 Living History Group, portraying and honoring the military and civilians of the American Revolution and the founding of the United States.
Lee, remember how cool the bicentennial was? Remember that?
It was before my time,
Oh, okay.
but not yours.
Hey. I still have a set of bicentennial glasses at my house.
And coming up now is a first-time parade participant. Dan helps sustain. Dan is a U.S. Navy veteran serving 5 years from 1979 to 1984. He is pulling a homemade model of the USS Ranger CV-61. That was the carrier he served on.
And the Auburn Sons and Daughters of Italy Lodge 1955 was founded in 1947. The Auburn Lodge now has over 215 members. Among our members are active duty military and veterans of World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, Desert Storm, and other conflicts. Some members share membership with the American Legion, the VFW, and Disabled American Veterans.
And you can hear them coming. Here comes the High Climber Marching Band, the Pride of Shelton. The group is under the direction of Mr. John Rance. Assistant director is Damian Pruitt. Drum majors are Richard Beckman and Liam Lowen. The cheer squad is under the direction of Stacy Stoney and Grace Renneker. And here they come.
And right here on Main Street for the last 100 years, King Solomon Lodge number 60 of Free and Accepted Masons of Washington. They are accompanied by several different Masonic bodies, members of Nile and the Shrines and the Sons of Hiram Motorcycles, and youth groups including the Young Men of Edward James Chapter of Des Moines. Also included are the International Order of Rainbow Girls Assemblies. They have numerous veterans within their organization. I think you better give their introduction before we can't hear them.
All right, here we go. Very quickly. Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association is coming up. An association of combat veterans from all branches of the United States Armed Forces who ride motorcycles as a hobby. The group is comprised of active duty and retired veterans. Their mission is simple: vets helping vets. And if you've got puppies nearby, you might want to cover their ears.
And here come the Auburn Knights of Columbus, serving communities through charity, unity, fraternity, and patriotism. These members are honored to pay tribute to veterans today.
And up next is the Auburn School District Transportation Division. You're looking at one of their school buses with a bus full of their bus drivers who are veterans of the United States Armed Forces. So thank you for your service. Thank you for getting Auburn's littlest citizens to and from school every day. You're not going to school. Don't worry. It's the weekend.
I know you can hear those drums now. Marching here today, the Sons of the American Revolution. This is a historical, education, patriotic, and service organization. They're the largest all-male lineage society whose members have traced their ancestry back to the American Revolution. Their families either fought for or supported the war effort. Many of the members of the marching unit are veterans themselves. Their uniforms represent actual replicas of what was worn in the 18th century.
Welcome the Washington State Daughters of the American Revolution. Chapters represented among this entry are Mary Ball, Elizabeth Bory, Rainier, Mary Fell Stevenson, and Lakota chapters. There are numerous veterans among them. The organization celebrates the patriotism and service of American women who, from our colonial days, have served the cause of freedom even before women were officially accepted into the military. Since 1890, the women of the DAR have supported our military and veterans and continue to give service to America. And I'll say our family is part of it. We can trace our line back to Colonel Heston, who was George Washington's aide-de-camp.
Up next is the Solid Rock Cruisers Christian Car Club, who combines love of classic cars with the desire to fellowship with other car enthusiasts. Our family-friendly club is open to anyone who has an interest in classic cars and trucks, whether or not they own a classic car themselves. All these cars coming by, it's like a time warp. Mm-hmm. You can just see different decades rolling by. When you got honked at in the 1940s, you really got honked at.
Yeah.
And here comes the Brotherhood United Motorcycles Association, a veterans-based organization that helps veterans in their local community by providing resources and assistance to those in need.
This is one of your favorites.
It really is. It's aspirational, though. I don't have a Corvette.
Let's welcome the Classical Glass Corvette Club, made up of members who own all years and models of Corvettes. The club, which is based in Tacoma, has many members who are veterans, and on this occasion,
they still have something to say.
There you go. The Corvettes are looking pretty cool, too. Do you have a favorite?
I like probably 80s Corvettes and early 60s Corvettes.
You had a T-top, right?
I didn't have a Corvette, though.
Oh, okay.
No. I actually had a Vet, though, when I was attending Green River Community College. That's how I impressed the ladies. I told them I had a Vet, but it was a Chevette. Nothing as nice as these.
Yeah.
And here comes the Marines Motorcycle Club, consists of former and active duty United States Marines who proudly ride together for the purpose of mutual support, camaraderie, and adventure. The bottom rocker on their backs proclaims their motto, Semper Fidelis, which means always faithful.
Okay.
Oh.
And coming up now, more of the beautiful cars. Tacoma Corvettes Club. Those are some nice looking vehicles. All 8 generations of the Corvette are represented by the members here. The club also has numerous veterans within the ranks who look forward to this event every year. The 135 member strong Tacoma Corvette Club is proud to present these very special cars in public in honor of our nation's veterans.
Some of these Corvettes look like they could get a ticket parked in a driveway. They just look fast.
Oh, we've got some Transformers. Look at that.
I think my favorite of this entire display is the final one rolling through here.
The classic.
The classic. It's got the knockoffs. It's got those side pipes to burn your shins. And here come the Auburn Girl Scouts. The Auburn Girl Scout Service Unit is comprised of 17 troops and numerous independently registered members within Auburn city limits. Outstanding job, and I'll get my cookie order in soon.
Yeah, quick, which one is your favorite?
Oh, Samoa's probably.
Samoa's?
Yeah.
Thin Mints all the way.
Thin
Classic.
Mints. I could eat a row of Thin Mints watching TV.
What are the tag-alongs?
Yeah, I'd tag along with those too.
Look at
We
those
also have the
homemade
girls-
signs.
Yeah, we also have the Girl Scout unit from JBLM, All Military Association Girl Scout Service Unit. The members of each troop are a mixture of current active duty retirees, National Guard, reservists, and other veterans' children.
And you can hear them coming, the Tahoma High School's parade band and guard. Go Bears! Joining us just up the street at Highway 18 from Maple Valley, their lead band director, Matthew Cole.
And here come the American Heritage Girls and Trail Life, a faith-based character development program from the New Day Church in Auburn. The children and families want to say thank you, veterans.
And coming up here is Trail Life USA Troop 1911, comprised of members from both Trail Life and American Heritage Girls. The program partners with churches and parents across America as the premier national character development organization for young men. This particular troop is out of Wabash Church in Auburn. Trail Life USA now has more than 53,000 youth members in over 1,100 churches from all 50 states.
Presenting the Evergreen A's, Model A Ford Club of America. Happy Veterans Day. We have many veterans in our club and salute and thank all veterans for their service. The club is celebrating its 65th anniversary this year. These cars date back to 1928 through 31. Ahooga! And let's say hello to the Western Washington's Modern Camaro Club. The club is proud to honor our nation's veterans. Our country's greatness is built on the foundation of your courage and sacrifice. The club consists of many vets from several military branches, as well as active duty military members. And they're loud.
What? Abate, a nonprofit organization of men and women, both veterans and civilians, who come together to promote motorcycle safety, education, public awareness, and fair motorcycle legislation.
And here comes the Galloping Gertie Model A Club. Model A's were produced by Ford between 1928 through the end of 31. They were inexpensive and popular. Many are restored and driving today. These cars have only 3 gears, and drivers have to double clutch down to shift. Model A's have mechanical brakes and a 40 horsepower engine. They also sound like the friendliest cars on the road.
And coming up now is the Old Coots on Scoots, Chapter 50 of Edgewood. Always a parade favorite, a well-established riding club that calls the Edgewood community home. This is a nonprofit group of motorcycle enthusiasts who love to give back to their surrounding community by volunteer work and charitable donations.
I know! No, he just said no rain.
No rain!
I said it. It wasn't going to rain at least toward the end. Got some sun breaks, too.
Good job.
You're very welcome. I like your ride. And you can hear him coming, introducing the award-winning Ballard High School Marching Band, directed by Navy veteran Jay Gillespie. This is the 3rd year Ballard has participated in the Auburn Veterans Parade, and they're proud to represent their school and the Ballard community as we give thanks to our veterans. And here comes the Tesla Owners Club of Washington, who salutes America's veterans. Teslas are all-electric cars made in America with factories in California and Texas. The club hosts meetups, scenic drives, and participates in charitable events throughout the 7 chapters across the state. And up next is the Valley Regional Fire Authority Chief Brad Thompson, who is escorting Captain Bill Austin, who served 4 years in the Air Force as a senior airman. Captain Austin served as an aircraft firefighter and received the Air Force Good Conduct Medal of Recognition. Captain Austin is retiring from the VRFA this year after a 32-year service in the fire department.
And this is where we all start clapping. Last but definitely not least, please welcome the Valley Regional Fire Authority, your local fire department, providing fire, emergency, medical, and rescue services to the community of Algona, Auburn, and Pacific. You're looking at ladder 331, and it's a 107-foot heavy-duty tiller arterial ladder made by Pierce Manufacturing. The maneuverability ladder reach. I'm just going to say it's a really cool truck.
As we were saying, wow, what a parade. I see this parade is the largest of its kind. I see why. This is the largest of its kind west of the Mississippi. What a great turnout. Great big thank you to all the parade participants. The City of Auburn is so pleased to have all of you out here today supporting our veterans and our active duty members. Happy 58th anniversary of this parade to the City of Auburn. Great job. The City of Auburn would like to give special thanks to a long list of folks who contribute to this event, and it's just really who's who is making this such a special day. The public affairs offices of each branch of the military for organizing their participation, and a big thank you to the Seattle Seafair Parade Marshals for organizing the parade assembly area, to the amateur ham radio volunteers for parade communication and support.
A shout out to Auburn Chevrolet, Bud Clary Auburn Volkswagen, Dachshund Toyota, Valley Buick GMC, and Wayscar Ford for graciously providing parade vehicles for our dignitaries. They always look so shiny and bright. The Auburn Noon Lions for providing parade drivers for the dignitaries. The American Legion, Auburn Post 78 for offering a public breakfast prior to the parade and co-sponsoring the remembrance ceremony.
And the Washington Department of Veterans Affairs for coordinating their Outstanding Veterans Award winners to participate in the parade and attend the luncheon. The City of Auburn Parks, Arts and Recreation, Police, Streets, Emergency Management, and Multimedia Departments, and the Valley Regional Fire Authority for the event support. And a special thanks to the Muckleshoot Casino for sponsoring the event. And a warm thank you to our media partners, of course, what's on my jacket, Como for Talk Radio 570 KVI and Northwest News Radio, also Star 101.5.
A parade this size really takes a lot of support. The City of Auburn would like to thank all of those involved in the coordination of the event. So thank you for joining us today at Auburn's 58th Annual Veterans Parade and Observance. Hopefully, we'll see you again next year.
We will.